Welcome to Pop Culture Reference. Everything that you need to understand pop culture references. I've already forgotten the intro, but
We're off
besides
to a great
that,
start.
oh yes. Besides that great start, I am one of your hosts, Seamus Connolly.
I'm one of your other hosts, Garrett Strother.
Hello, I am also here, Ricardo Salgado.
And today's episode of Pop Culture Reference is brought to you by the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee Professional Cinema Society. UWM-PCS is a student organization focused on bringing the film community at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee together. They also help put on the Student Film and Video Festival at the end of every semester, so make sure if you're a University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee filmmaker that you're submitting to that. But let's go ahead and dive right into the show, guys.
All right, first episode. I love it. I think we're gonna.
Episode 1.
Yeah, first try. No other episodes before this.
Mm-hmm.
Garrett, I believe you have some news you've been dying to share.
There's news?
So, our first segment every week is going to be news, and it's mostly going to be news that we feel that we actually have something valid to discuss, like something that's fresh and has a point of view to it, something that we're interested in, so that we're not just rotely reading off new cast lists and the like.
That makes sense. That's a good call.
Last week, Jon Favreau, director Jon Favreau, who's doing The Mandalorian for Disney+.
Very excited.
There was an interview where he said that he was interested in potentially doing a Disney+ Star Wars Christmas special.
Woof. Jeez, that's
the news.
the news. I try to think about that Christmas special as little as possible. Because
all I think about.
when I close my eyes, I see those Wookiee masks. I mean, I've never actually seen the Christmas special.
Well,
That's
that's
the
our
only
Christmas
doing-
special.
Oh
then.
God, that is not special. That is a disappointment.
Well, we're going to do a Star Wars retrospective. We're going to do them in the correct order.
Yeah, technically.
4 Christmas special, 5, 6.
God, I hate that. It's like the only piece of actual canon, maybe besides like the later seasons of Rebels, that's the only canon Star Wars thing that I have flat out not seen, refused to see.
I don't think it's technically canon.
I think it is.
It is to me, damn it.
I'm almost positive. Well, I mean, I don't know with like the Disney retcons
Oh,
after the, acquisition of Star Wars, but like I do remember George Lucas saying something, or like hearing something about George Lucas saying that it's all canon, and that was like he had those ideas like kind of like churning in his head, and he wanted to.
If you've ever heard
Yeah,
about...
Lucas hates that special.
But he really, was enthusiastic about it because he was right off the first Star Wars. He was young and still cared about things and didn't only want to build a giant money castle.
Those were the days.
And so he went to the ABC
money
execs and he sat down and he said, how many minutes is a Christmas special? And they were like 60. And so he went and he wrote 1 to 60 down on his notebook. And then he wrote down every single idea he had to go 1 through 60. Like, he was really jazzed about it. And he had all this backstory that he was fleshing out to the executives, including the idea that, now, Han Solo is married to a Wookiee, but we won't get that past the censor, so don't mention it in the...
Oh, so it's just implied that Han Solo
Yeah.
has a relationship with a Wookiee? Is it Chewbacca's family?
In the special is Chewbacca's family.
Okay.
But the implication, I guess, that George Lucas had in mind is that Han had a relationship with one
And that's
of the
why he can
Wookiees.
understand Chewie.
Wow.
And obviously that
Interesting.
was never canonically inserted even into the Christmas special, but I think that's a fascinating little thing that was going on in George Lucas's mind when he was making the
Why I
first Star
prefer
Wars.
the book version of his origin, where it's just like he was just raised by a Wookiee.
He was really trying to, it feels to me hearing that, he was trying to do like a Tolkien thing where he's like, yeah, I'm progressive. There's interspecies relationships and like things are going in a weird direction that's like culturally taboo, but it's like not in a fun kind of way.
But
George Lucas is a furry. That's what I'm getting out of this conversation.
You know what? It's possible.
are we interested in seeing Jon Favreau take Christmas to space again?
Yeah.
Bringing back Life Day?
I am all about
Life
this.
Day. Jeez. That would mean that I would have to watch the original, which I'm still unwilling
We're
to do.
already
Ugh,
deciding
I
you're
don't-
doing that.
guys,
It's gonna
I
be
don't
on,
wanna come
on
on.
Disney
It's
Plus,
horrible.
right? The original.
I mean, I've got
Wow,
I've got a DVD rip of it.
That's
Don't even
worst.
worry.
Don't even worry about it.
I remember being 9 years old and getting it, and it was the holy grail of Star Wars artifacts because it was never officially released
Was it not? It was a
No,
TV
it
special.
was a TV special
on what?
on
network?
ABC,
Okay.
and that was the only time it ever aired, and the only existing copies of it are from VHS rips. That's pretty much all the news I have, I think. Does anybody else have anything that they want to discuss from the last week?
Oh, geez. News? I don't know if I have.
You got any
There's
personal news? What's up with you? What's going on?
Well, I mean, I was gonna say there is rumors that they're finally. I don't know if you guys care about this at all, but they're finally gonna be announcing a release date for The Last of Us 2, which I've been waiting for a very long time.
Oh, is that the video game news that I heard was happening today?
Is that happening today?
I
oh,
heard-
shoot.
I don't know. Let me Google that real quick because I know there's some kind of video game news coming
Yeah,
out
it's
this
the
morning.
State of Play. I want to say, like the PlayStation conference.
Yes, The Last of Us 2 will be featured during today's PS4 State of Play.
Oh, okay.
As of 11:20 in the morning when we're recording this podcast, it does not appear that announcement has been made, but I'm sure next week we'll be back with The Last of Us 2 release date.
Yeah, that's good.
And
Did either of you play that game?
Yeah.
I played the first half of it.
You should play the second half of it.
I really should.
It's quite good.
I don't game
That
as much as
intro,
I
man,
need to.
is just-
Oh
it's some
yeah,
heavy shit.
definitely. That's They don't screw around. They throw you right into just like depressing story elements and great
Mhm.
setup for drama. You know, dead family always really gets it.
Yeah, it's very cinematic. It's very...
Yeah, maybe that's why I enjoy it so much. Is
Yeah,
that
it's
it does
Naughty Dog.
feel very. Yeah, you know what, Naughty Dog. They always get it. Good for them.
All right.
Yeah, that's really the only media pop culture stuff that I got right now.
So, obviously, this kind of folds in with news. The Emmys were this weekend.
Raise your hand if you watched the Emmys, because raising your hand is the best way to do something on a podcast.
Just so you guys know, you viewers at home, none of us are raising our hands. I did watch some of it. I am an RA, and my residents were watching it out in the kitchen, and so I got to see a little bit of it. I saw Bradley Whitford and Jimmy Smits presenting together, a la the last two seasons of West Wing, but also Brooklyn Nine-Nine, where Bradley Whitford is Jake's dad and Jimmy Smits is Amy's dad.
Haven't gotten that far into the show. Thanks for spoiling it. I'll stop watching now.
So Ricardo already knew that because
Yes.
he's a Brooklyn Nine-Nine
Oh,
fan.
no, yeah. I actually do very much enjoy that show. I also don't really recognize the names that you just said, so it's not that big of a reveal.
But I think there were a lot of upsets for the Emmys, and since we
Yeah.
are a pop culture podcast, I feel like we should touch on that. Fleabag did exceptionally well, the Phoebe Waller-Bridge
Yeah,
comedy.
She had like 4 of them.
Let's see. She won Outstanding Comedy Series, Outstanding Actress in a Comedy Series. Miss Maisel took your boy Tony Shalhoub took Supporting Actor in a Comedy
I
Series,
didn't even know he was in that.
which is great for him. I think the official stance of pop culture references that we love Tony Shalhoub. Can I
No.
go on out and on?
Quickly
a limb?
remind me. Now, audience, this is going to be a reoccurring thing with me that I know very few famous names. Remind me who Tony Shalhoub is again?
Remember Men
Ma-
in Black?
Yes.
Remember he got shot in the face and then he like grew another head?
That guy's great. Tony Shalhoub, I will put the pop culture reference stamp of approval on that weird, gross little head.
He's also Adrian Monk on the show Monk.
Yeah, I never watched Monk, but I do. Yeah, you could have said Monk. I would have gotten
That's
that.
what I was gonna say, and Ricardo thought that was the best avenue to
But
take.
you know what? I definitely I followed you every step of the way, and we got there.
So Fleabag also won Best Writing in a Comedy Series, which is, I think, really a huge upset, considering the fact that Fleabag was up, or not Fleabag, Fleabag upset over Russian Doll, which was, I think, the favorite to win the writing category.
I heard very good things about Russian Doll
Um,
and Fleabag, actually. And that's the Amazon show with Moriarty from Sherlock?
Yes, it's Moriarty and Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who is, of course, Lando's robot companion.
L337.
Yes.
She has a name. Robot rights and all that. You remember that plot
Yes.
thing?
Unsurprisingly, Chernobyl won Best Limited Series. Lots of love for Ozark.
These are all
Jason
shows
Bateman.
I haven't
I
seen.
didn't even
And
know Ozark
Julia
was still
Garrett.
going on.
Mm-hmm.
Good for them.
Somehow Game of Thrones pulled a outstanding drama series out.
Even after
Even
everything
after
that's happened this year
that
with them?
last
That's probably
season.
more of a. It's over. We're just gonna celebrate that it was a thing that took over the world for a while.
To be
Yes.
honest, not much up against it. Better Call Saul, Killing Eve, and Succession are the main competition I'm seeing here, and Ozark. But This Is Us and Bodyguard and Pose.
I mean, to watch.
I don't
Killing
recognize most of those. I recognize that name, but I don't know
uh,
enough about it.
Sandra Oh.
Peter Dinklage won
For
supporting
Tyrion
actor.
Lealman,
Yes,
Good
Tyrion
stuff.
Lannister, one of the best characters ever put on television. So good
like,
for him.
Yeah, I never really got that far into Game of Thrones, only halfway into season 3, but he was, I mean, I don't think it's controversial for me to say that he's just like, yeah, he's the best character on that show. I think he's just great.
Bill Hader took home
for
a second in a row best acting in a comedy series, lead acting for
Woo!
Barry.
I gotta watch
Go
Barry.
Barry.
I really
Which-
gotta watch Barry.
Good.
Is absolutely incredible. And that was, I think, a pretty tough category, including notably Ted Danson for The Good Place, who
I actually want to talk about The Good Place
is
if we get a chance.
absolutely a revelation on The Good Place.
I think he's probably the best part of that show.
Yeah,
like,
for
he's
sure.
great. He's hilarious.
We should do episode by episode. We should do a weekly Good Place check-in because that season 4 is coming out soon, and so we'll be
Final season.
I'm in the middle of season 3 right now.
well wrap up before season 4 comes out so we can.
Well, I will. But I gotta say, I'm not super impressed by this season. I'm getting a little
Really?
let down here.
Wrong.
I mean, I'm having fun still, but it's not the Good Place hijinks that I want. I want to see Janet do Janet things. You know? I
Oh,
wanna
have you
see-
gotten to the Janet-centric episode yet?
Probably not.
Well, if you want more Janet, you're gonna get
There is always room for more Janet.
more Janet.
I'm excited for that. I agree with what you just said. Janet is probably second in my tier of characters.
Just
in The Good
behind
Place.
Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah, a pretty stellar cast, pretty stellar writing. I'm glad they're wrapping it up when the creators want to wrap it up
Yeah.
and not just keeping it going forever.
That's good.
Um,
I'm hoping I get a little some better
I feel
episodes
the
on the back
little
end.
lull at the beginning of season 3. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I guess I am a little more towards the beginning still, like maybe like 5 episodes in.
Yeah,
They're
about
trying to.
You're getting to because it's very kinetic, that show. The
Yeah.
way the energy builds into a mid-season twist usually. Like there's usually something that happens mid-season that gets the energy the rest of the way. That show's really good at reinventing itself, I think.
Yeah.
And it turns into a new every 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah.
It turns into a new show essentially.
Pretty much. I think that show's gonna wrap up either with they've been in the good place all along, or it's just gonna be like a slow zoom on Michael with another evil laugh, like they've been in the bad place again all along, and it's just gonna cut to black.
You're thinking just twists and turns.
Because that
gonna
first
be-
season closer, I was
Spoilers for The Good Place.
Oh
just
yeah, I
so
guess
everybody
spoilers for
knows.
The Good Place. If you haven't watched The Good Place, what are you even doing listening to this weird small time podcast? Go watch that for a while.
The other, I think, notable thing, supporting actor in limited series went to Paddington himself, Ben Winshaw, for A Very English Scandal, also starring Hugh Grant
Oh.
from Paddington 2. In Paddington 2, Hugh Grant and Ben Winshaw do not have sexual intercourse. In A Very English Scandal, they do. So
You have my attention.
those are
time,
the
They're both bears.
Oh, love it.
that's the way to. If you were curious about how to distinguish those two series, or those two pieces of media. That's the only way
the only
actually
distinction between the two.
to do it. Only that.
I love it.
John Oliver got a couple of.
Oh, for his Fun Time show.
Mm-hmm. Chernobyl got Best Directing in a limited series.
God, I do need to watch that. I've heard it's great. I heard Russia's real angry about it. I heard they're making their own Chernobyl series that blames America somehow, which I would be very interested to see how they try that.
I actually don't know anything about Chernobyl other than the fact that it's a nuclear thing that exploded.
Well, then you should watch
It's
the HBO series Chernobyl.
I know a lot. It's going to be tragic to watch, like, in, real time shit go down.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think the Emmys, that was interesting. I think good content got recognized where it was due. Phoebe Waller-Bridge is very funny, and I like her a lot, and I'm glad she's getting recognized. I'm sad The Good Place didn't get a little bit more thrown to it, but that will be next season, certainly.
Now, don't spoil anything. They do set up for some real wacky hijinks at the end of the third season, right?
The third season ends in a way that is very exciting for the next, the coming season.
You always want to see what's going to happen next.
I really do.
I was a few weeks behind on Good Place when I was watching it, and so I was watching it on Hulu, and I watched like 4 in a row, and I was like, oh man, I bet you next episode's, that's a really great setup, I bet you next episode's the season finale, I can't wait to see what, that was the season finale.
You got,
Guess
man.
I'm gonna have to wait 4 months or however long it was. It's very quick. They churn that one out very fast, considering the fact that most hit TV shows you have to wait. It feels like hiatuses are getting longer and longer. Game of Thrones took like almost 3 years off.
Is that true? Is that why it feels like it's been on for like 10 years?
It has been on for like 10 years. That's the thing. I think it premiered in 2011.
Really? Jeez, Louise.
And so and then obviously something like Rick and Morty, which is animated, so that's a little bit of a different tier to hold it to. But
and everything about that show and its production being like hindered at every turn for some reason is strange.
Now Fox has gone full green light, and they're renewed for 9 seasons?
Wait, Fox? I thought it was Adult Swim.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
Adult Swim.
Yeah, they're like 72 more episodes are ordered. And they're like, what the
makes total sense. It's a huge cash cow for them.
Well, right now it makes sense, but
50 episodes into the future.
Sooner or later, everything goes the way of The Simpsons. So
also just won an Emmy for the first time in like 6 years.
Yeah, so that means Disney's not canceling them anytime soon.
Oh, absolutely not. I heard they're going to put the entire series on Disney Plus at launch.
That is true, yeah.
Which is a pretty good draw, if I'm being honest.
Have you pre-ordered?
I have not. I've been thinking about. Oh wait, no, I'm so poor that I probably can't.
It's open to plebs now. That exclusive the
3-year deal.
The 3-year deal. It's a little bit more expensive. It's like $160, $170, something like that, as opposed to $140 that was open to D23 members.
But I mean, like that's still pretty good for 3 years worth of original and archived content. Like I feel like it's pretty decent.
We'll be doing a Mandalorian weekly update.
Oh yeah, we'll check in on the Mandalorian for sure.
So we're probably doing a Good Place and Mandalorian every week, so that'll be fun.
And
I've already pre-ordered.
God help us when those Marvel shows start coming out. This is just gonna be the whole podcast.
This is gonna be we're gonna have to replace our main segment
with just catching up on all of the stuff on Disney Plus.
Loki, he's doing time stuff. Scarlet Witch is there.
Oh god.
Oh, this is Vision.
There's portals everywhere. Portals to everywhere.
On your left and his left and the other left.
I am most interested in fucking WandaVision. It's going to be so goddamn weird.
And the whole thing about how the last episode is going to lead like right into Multiverse of Madness.
Oh, is that what they've said?
That's what I've heard, and I think that's a lot of fun. I like that idea.
Quick aside, not at all to do with Disney Plus, but to do with Disney.
Please.
I went to see on Sunday Ad Astra with Brad Pitt.
Is it a Disney movie?
No, it's not a Disney movie. I went to see it in the IMAX.
Oh.
And it's a sci-fi movie, obviously, so they matched the trailers to suit. And I intentionally keep myself in a sensory deprivation tank regarding trailers for movies I want to see. So if there's a movie like If there's a new Marvel movie or a Star Wars movie or a movie from a director I admire that I know I'm going to see, regardless, why would I watch a trailer for it? And before Ad Astra, all of a sudden, up on the IMAX screen, it was the Twin Sons of Tatooine.
Oh.
And I started getting very excited, and it was like slowly going through the original trilogy and playing the Star Wars music. I was like, are they re-releasing the non-special editions now? Is that what's going on here? Is this an IMAX thing? I was wondering if they were releasing this trailer with Ad Astra. I was like, how have I not heard about this? It was just the new Last Jedi trailer that I had, or not Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker trailer that I had not yet seen, because half of it's just a clip show of the rest of the franchise.
Yeah, it's just like the Endgame trailer.
Yeah, it's very similar to that Endgame trailer, which I didn't see until after I saw Endgame. But yeah, I was very jarred by that and I was like, is this how the rest of the movie-going world feels? Did they get excited because maybe they're re-releasing the other Star Wars? But no.
Well, that is a real sad bait and switch. Because
yeah,
I haven't seen that new trailer yet. I know there's like the thing about the CGI cape and the reflection and the.
There's a what?
I don't know anything about that.
Oh, there's some big upset where they show a clip of like Kylo Ren doing something, and there's like a pool of water at his feet, and
he's got a cape in
Yeah, he's got a cape, and then in the reflection there's no cape or something, and everyone's like, "Gosh darn!"
I was very confused and because the only trailer I've seen, I was very taken aback because the only trailer I'd seen up until this point was the announcement trailer,
right? The flipping over the TIE fighter,
which I of course saw at Celebration, and then I've seen it every movie I've gone to see since then because they play it everywhere, including before Endgame on the big IMAX, which was pretty fun.
Yes.
But I was very confused when that was what was going on.
I would honestly very much love for them to, do a re-release at some point. Are you talking about in the theaters or just like?
Well, that's what I thought it was. I thought they were re-releasing them in IMAX,
which would have been wonderful. Well, I've heard, because didn't they do like Phantom Menace in 3D
well, yeah, I was
re-release?
Going to say about 10 years ago they decided they were going to do all of them re-released in 3D. And they were doing them chronologically, so they started with Phantom Menace, which was a big mistake because nobody went to see it, and so they canceled doing the rest of them.
Which sucks. I would have paid so much money to see Revenge of the Sith in 3D.
It was at the height of the 3D boom. It was right after Avatar.
Oh, yeah.
When everything had to be in 3D.
Let's talk about Avatar for 40 minutes.
I would rather never talk about Avatar again.
Well, we've got an Avatar sequel every year starting in a year and a half.
Every year.
Yeah, it's like every year for like 20 years. It's not making me, optimistic for the future of like big sci-fi, especially after... It seems like Star Wars might be going to the miniseries route for a while until Rian Johnson does his, his own trilogy of movies.
Which they will not ever do. Because
you don't think they're going to do that anymore?
I think The Last Jedi was too divisive.
I suppose, but like...
Yeah, but now he gets to play with something new and not, like, old legacy characters.
Yeah, if he gets to, like, build it from the ground up, that's exactly what I want to see.
I think that the fan base is too caustic. I think it will reject anything Rian Johnson touches, and I think Disney knows that. I hate that on our first episode, that I have directly led us to devolving to be three men sitting around talking about Star Wars.
Oh, I mean, I blame you. Get there anyway.
I blame me too. So we should transition into Rec Center?
Maybe? I think we need to transition into Rec Center, yeah.
Okay, so first episode, so we've got to explain. This segment is called Save the Rec Center. In this instance, based on the common movie trope. However, Recreation Center is not what we're doing. We're doing Recommendation Center. Exactly. So this is the segment called
into what I had planned.
Save the Rec Center.
And who would like to go first today? Has anybody got one that they're itching to get off their chest?
Well, I just mentioned a few minutes ago that I just saw Ad Astra, which was a movie I enjoyed quite a lot. It's Apocalypse Now in space, which I guess has a certain appeal to it.
That appeals to me. That sounds awesome.
It's heady and weird, like Interstellar, but actually has some of the emotional weight to back up what it was doing. But also, there are times when it feels really pulpy and like a science fiction novel. It's imbalanced, I would say, but I enjoyed it, and it feels much longer than its just over 2-hour runtime, which could be a good or a bad thing. Yeah. Brad Pitt's pretty good.
I was about to say, is Brad Pitt doing all right in there?
Brad Pitt's pretty good.
He's in space.
Most of the other actors don't need to be in it. Donald Sutherland has nothing to do. Liv Tyler is in maybe 4 shots of the movie, just by getting like 5th billing.
Damn, okay.
Ruth Nega's really great. It's mostly Brad Pitt and Ruth Nega. Tommy Lee Jones.
I was about to say, isn't Tommy Lee Jones?
Tommy Lee Jones is doing a little bit, but he makes his screen time count, I guess.
Okay. Well, yeah, I know I saw a couple trailers for that back in the day. I remember hearing the announcement for that, and it's just like, whatever. It's just some sci-fi movie with Brad Pitt. But then I don't know. It's looking very solid. I think I'm gonna have to check that out.
I recommend it. In the IMAX, I have AMC A-list, so I obviously go to everything in IMAX I can.
Big man over here, afford IMAX tickets.
I think, no, but what I was going to say, I think the IMAX does enhance the experience on this one because the scale is so large. It really takes, I don't know if it was shot in IMAX, I should find that out, but it really takes advantage of the IMAX size. It feels very big. The space sequences are silent because it's very realistically driven, kind of like 2001, where it tries to take as much realism with the space travel as it can. And so all of the space action outside of a spaceship is told visually, so it helps to have that extra level of scale to fully understand what's going on in the action sequences.
That's awesome. I think that's totally cool.
Pitt in space.
I appreciate that joke. That's pretty good.
Ham Astra.
Wow, I
gotta go. I gotta go write that movie now.
I was gonna say I need to come up with a pork, Brad pork. I don't know. Move on.
Okay, so that's my rec center. Does anybody who wants to go wants to share?
You wanna go?
I'll go. I'm gonna go. I'm moving on to a video game rec center today. I have recently replayed this great indie classic, modern indie classic, Undertale. You guys may have heard about that, maybe not. It's great. It's real.
What's the premise, Seamus?
The premise is, they give a little history on the world in the intro. In ancient times, monsters and humans lived together. Big war. Monsters had to be banished to the underground world where there's a barrier. And you play as this kid, and you get to name yourself. You get to go through as your own self, and you fall into the world, and you basically have to get back home. It's so weird. It's hard to explain. It's very there's
like a third-person open world.
It's kind of kind of open world. It's almost overhead. It's 2D 8-bit animation.
Oh, cool.
It's all the dialogue is written it's a lot of jokes. It's very funny, and depending on how you play, it can be the most heartbreaking thing ever. They will make you feel very bad in your human player self for doing certain things if you do them like a terrible person. It's a very interesting way to see a pretty simple game get so out of bounds where you wouldn't think it would go. It's
you
highly
just sicked a
recommended.
very ravenous fan base on us. I hope you know that.
What did I do?
The Undertale fandom is isn't that notoriously one of the
most rabid fandoms?
They're crazy.
Oh, I sure hope not. I would like to say that I'm a pretty big fan. I don't know about any bad guys.
Well, if anybody wasn't already getting out their pitchforks about our treatment of the Undertale fandom, Ricardo certainly ensured
Oh, yes.
that they would be upset.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
Both of you individually, my co-hosts, I urge you to play it. It's great. My audience, play it. It's great. It's like $15 on Steam. It's
Great.
more
I'll
than
get it.
worth it.
Maybe I'll get into the Steam sale.
Oh, please
That's
do.
coming up.
I think that's when I got it a couple of years ago. It was on a whim. Played it on a whim. Very, very impressive piece of art, I will say,
Very good.
unequivocally.
All right, and Ricardo, what's your rec center, man?
Close us out.
All right. I don't know if this counts. Rachel Bloom. This is great for audio podcast.
The T-shirt you're
my,
wearing.
My Rachel Bloom T-shirt, who I got to see live the
It's a
other night.
great T-shirt, by the way.
It really is.
I recommend if you are a fan of hers, definitely see her live. If
She's
you,
touring, right?
yeah. It's the "What Am I Gonna Do with My Life Now" tour
Mm-hmm.
because her TV show just ended.
Which, also, I'm gonna quick side plug. It's a great TV show. Crazy Ex-Girlfriend is fantastic.
Were they not nominated for any Emmys? Was she not?
She is an Emmy winner, but it was like the creative arts and like the ones they don't put on TV.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Gotcha.
There you go.
And she had a whole bit about it on stage, just like how much her promotional people just did not believe in her getting like an Emmy on TV because they scheduled the tour on Emmy night months ago.
Yeah, that's pretty
That's
good. That's
really,
pretty funny.
that's really mean.
I think that about wraps it up for us. Thank you so much for listening to our very first episode. It's a little bit shorter than we'll usually go and a little bit less organized than we'll usually be. But
Hey,
thanks
that's show
for-
business, baby. I
Yeah.
don't know what to tell you.
Thanks for showing up at all, and have a great day.